Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi, Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, Ms. Shruti Tilak, Mr. Shlanipani Mtetwa, Mr. Sipiwe Mchunu, Mr. Piyush Khandelwal, distinguished guests and online members. Welcome to episode 2 of Antartaan, or Inner Tone, a series of interactions between two artists about their experiences of synchronization of their inner tones or internal rhythms with the expectations and performances of programs. Today in our midst, we have two very dynamic young leading artists of South Africa, and that is Ms. Shruti Tilak and Mr. Shlanipani Mtetwa. Just to take you a little bit on their backgrounds, a little bit about Ms. Shruti Tilak. She is a pharmacy intern and has completed her exams from the Royal School of Music in London in Western classical violin and has trained in Hindustani classical music on sitar and also plays the guitar and harmonium. She is a graduated Bharatanatyam dancer and performed in the South African National Youth Orchestra, KwaZulu-Natal Youth Orchestra, Durban City Orchestra, and has performed around South Africa, including the Grahamstown Arts Festival with these orchestras. She's also performed as a soloist in the orchestras as well as the KZN Philharmonic Orchestra, playing her father's Sanjeev Tilak's composition on sitar. She's performed in Bremen, Germany, presenting South Africa in the International Youth Symphony Orchestra, and more recently performed in India, Mauritius, and New Zealand. She performs in concerts in and around Durban and has her own YouTube channel under the name Shruti Tilak, which has more than 100,000 views. We welcome Ms. Shruti Tilak today for her conversation and taking us through her journey of music. Welcome, Shruti ji.
Namaste. Thank you so much for having me. So, I think it's not just one specific thing that can be explained. So, I feel like, okay, we are all born with some sort of gift, whether it's music or any other kind of gift from God. And that for me, it was music, I guess. So I think also the manner in which it's developed and taken care of is your inner tone. So it's very much dependent on your values, your effort in the arts as well. Like you're not going to feel the inner tone. You might have it, but if you don't practice or put the effort into the music, you're not going to feel it. So for me, it's a gift which you take a lot of care from God.
What I can say is, every time I'm about to sing, I just play my strings and then welcoming the energy and then feeling everyone in the room so that all the energies can be positive and be one. Most of the time I take my shoes off when I'm performing. I didn't know why, but now I understand. The vibration from the ground. That is from where I live. We believe that our forefathers are watching us in whatever we do. So taking my shoes off is like honoring them for giving me such talent that I have.
I practice. I try and do my best. Practicing, I think for any musician, they would agree that that is the key to any performance. And in order to do a performance successfully, you also need to be like in a good mood, in a good vibe. You need to have that energy to project to others. How is anyone else going to feel the happiness and joy from your performance if you're not feeling it for yourself? So I think practice along with this positive energy is important in order to successfully do a performance. And in terms of many instruments, that is just a coincidence in my life. But I just feel I play the instruments, but I guess you have to just practice. Otherwise, I mean, it would be pointless.
Most of the time, there is this preparation I do, even on stage. I just play my strings and then feel the rhythm in such a way that I would sometimes close my eyes so that I can feel it all gelling in slowly. Then when the battery is full, then I start singing. The moment I sing, it develops. So it's like 3 stages, you see. I sing a verse, introducing the meta. I do the chorus, telling the story, and then I do the conclusion where I'm enjoying the song, when I'm adding what I call dance, because moving with the rhythm where everything has been said now.
So feeling and experiencing music. So for me, music is my go-to thing. Whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, whether I'm angry, whether like that, it's just my go-to thing. So for me, as long as I have music to go to, that is how I connect to my music.
Most of the time, there is this preparation I do, even on stage. I just play my strings and then feel the rhythm in such a way that I would sometimes close my eyes so that I can feel it all gelling in slowly. Then when the battery is full, then I start singing. The moment I sing, it develops. So it's like 3 stages, you see. I sing a verse, introducing the meta. I do the chorus, telling the story, and then I do the conclusion where I'm enjoying the song, when I'm adding what I call dance, because moving with the rhythm where everything has been said now.
I guess, okay, so growing up, I guess a child will not be able to feel that inner uh, tone, as you refer to, unless they work on their technique also. So once you reach the stage where your technique is not, it's not like, okay, you have to use this finger and use this hand, that's how the coordination needs to go. If you're not stressing about all of those things, then only will you be able to feel that inner tone. So for me, I still like to do all my basic practices. I still go for lessons and things like that, because I believe that you have to like get past your limitations, make your limitations like, and also improve on your limitations. So what I can say now is what 10 years ago when I just started, it's not the same limitations as I have now. So that's my way of connecting. And yeah, so once technique is out of the way, then only will you be able to feel that inner tone.
Oh, to explain that, there was this time when my guitar was broken. I didn't want a new one because I felt like I need her back. And then every time someone touches my guitar, I don't know if it's crazy or it will sound weird, but I'm always like, oh, it's going to crash it. Don't do that, you see.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't go anywhere without it. Yeah, it becomes crazy because around my neighborhood, they ask me when I'm not carrying it out, where is it? So it's like, okay, maybe if I have a guitar, I'm totally a better person than walking alone like a normal person. So it's something like that. The connection is so extreme. I call her MGMPP.
Oh,
that
wow.
is an abbreviation.
Okay.
My guitar, my backbone. I say that because when I'm carrying it, it goes in the back like this. So I refer to it as this part of the body. Like if my guitar is not there, I will be paralyzed in some sort of.
Actually, as I said before, it's like a God's gift. So if you believe that you find God in everything, in everyone, then your connection will happen to the higher power. And when you're able to play for yourself, past the limitations, past the technique, as I said before, then will you feel that that connection to the higher universal power. And sometimes it's actually very difficult to get that connection too, because like obviously you have human emotions, sometimes your emotions get the better of you, and sometimes also you're in a situation where you okay, as a musician, you can't have that feeling where I am the best, or I am like this, I am like that. Once that, you can say, ego kind of comes, then you're not going to feel that that unlimited feeling. And I think as a musician and even as a dancer, you will always know that there's more to learn. And once you have that condition that, okay, I know everything, you will not feel that higher universal power. So for me, it's trying to remain true to myself, and to also remember that I have a lot more to learn. So that is how I actually absorb from the universe.
I do feel that all the time. Whenever I'm having problems like depression or stress, something like that, I just take a walk and sing. Mostly when the sun has gone down, walking at night singing, that's where I feel everything. And my father used to say, don't sing in the night, because the ghost will listen to you and will come to you. And I was like, Dad, that's crazy, that never happens. And then now I understood what he meant, because music is older than us. The sound itself is older than us. We might think we have the idea of what we are doing, but it's so bigger than what we know.
Okay, so I can tell you a story, right? So in 2018, I went to India to perform as part of a youth offering in the ashram in Puttaparthi, the Prashanti Nilayam ashram. And I was so excited. I was so happy. It was going to be like the best day of my life. And so we started rehearsals and things like that. And then I suddenly got very sick. And it turned out that I had mumps. My face was the size of a balloon, and I was horribly sick. And I think I cried more during that time that I couldn't practice and perform than the fact that I was sick. I actually landed in hospital and everything in India. And then I prayed and I said, okay, God, please, 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 please let me play, let me play, let me play. And somehow, by some miracle, 2 days later, I used a mask before it was fashion. and I got to the hall and I played. So that is the answer in a practical way to your question, where, yeah, I don't know, does that answer your question? That experience for me. Actually, like that's one moment where I felt like God actually helped me, because I don't know how I managed to play, but that was my experience on that day.
Yeah, I felt that, but I needed confirmation. I believed in it like 100%. Then I started to dream songs. Dreaming a song and then waking up at 3. And then you're like, okay, where does this song come from? And then I would take my phone and record whatever melody and then sleep. When I wake up in the morning and I'm completing it, I'm writing it down, and I'm like, oh God, those lyrics, they are from somewhere else, you see. So by experiencing that, I do believe that whatever I do is positive, so some energy or some of the unknown experiencing what I'm doing, and then they are helping out by giving me clues.
So there is, because I know sometimes when you are hired to play at a program, and sometimes like how weddings would get, and people are not really listening, and okay, we enjoy the performance. I mean, you always have to play for yourself, I tend to like, it doesn't bother me to a level where it makes me angry, but it's way more exciting, way more fun when the audience is also engaging with you. So I agree, there is an effect of the audience, and when there's an audience that is listening to you, you tend to play better, and you play. I know you should be playing for yourself. Technically, you should actually have equal kind of performance, but somehow you get that drive, that adrenaline that just happens way more when you have a crowd that's supporting you. And along with the crowd and audience, I think also your co-musicians, when you have musicians who you somehow connect with, it is also very much more enjoyable to work with musicians that you connect with. And for example, if you look at my dad and myself, I can feel a connection with my dad, sometimes just an eye movement, or sometimes we don't even need any movement, but we know. So I can't explain that connection, but I definitely feel that we have some inner soul or inner connection with each other. And you've seen that, I'm sure you've seen that with other musicians, like for example, Jagjit Singh and his violinist, Deepak Pandit, they have this understanding that is absolutely brilliant. And you can't tell me that they actually physically, verbally spoke about every single nuance that they experienced. So yeah, that's my answer to that question regarding the audience.
No, it does work. There are some songs where, okay, there are some times where I would prepare my set for the certain show. And then when I arrive, the energy is something else. Maybe they are talking about gender-based violence, or they are talking about who is God, something like that. I would just change my routine right there and change my whole set to accommodate the room. And then when I start singing, they're like, oh, yeah. That's why he came. They're not having any idea that I just changed their whole set for this mood that I came across at that time. So I do connect with my audience by reading the energies in the house and the situation. It's okay. At this day, this is what they are talking about, and this is what rules.
Of course. So, as I said before, your limitations, your technique is a limitation that can actually bother your inner tone. Sometimes you have like this mind, like this something in your mind that you want to perform, but you don't have that kind of ability, that kind of technique, and it requires you to practice. That's why I have such big emphasis on practice, because it's so important so that you can actually deliver what your inner tone wants you to deliver. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So then I also think, yeah, when you're writing music also, I think that's another experience where it's like something beyond you. And when you have an imbalance, you won't write music. But the moment you like in sync, in connection, sometimes it happens at the weirdest of moments, like when you're in a shower or in 2 o'clock in the morning or something weird like that. I'm sure a lot of musicians must have said this before. Yeah, so it just depends on the moment. And sometimes if you're in a bad mood and you have to perform, it just doesn't work sometimes. My mother always gives me big eyes. If I'm in a bad mood or something, she'll like give me big eyes because it'll show on my face. So, yeah.
Yeah, that does happen. If people will throw back questions on what I was singing about, what am I implying? Sometimes I fail to answer because this thing is very spiritual. You see, it's very spiritual. So by that, I'm very fragile. I'm very fragile. So if I sang something and someone gives a negative feedback, it gives me a conflict and questions what's okay. maybe I dreamt the song, I sang it, they didn't understand what I was saying. Now they're throwing questions as if I was attacking them. You see? So that's the conflict. In either I change the song, or I carry on with it, or I blame them for not understanding. Some sort of that conflict.
I mentioned before that I always music is my go-to thing, right? So I just want for the rest of my life for music to always be the go-to thing. So I don't ever want to come to a stage where I can't do it, you know? I just want to play music. That's my internal um, feeling. And I also want to make sure that I can spread that feeling that I get. So, like when I'm playing, I'd like everybody else to have the same kind of feeling or even experience uh, like the joy that I get from playing music. So I think sharing in that joy is very important, and also internally, music is like a meditation. So for me, I just hope that I can continue like writing music and doing as much as I can so that it just always centers me as well as other people. So that's my goal.
Definitely.
I think I have it. Okay, there's many people who inspire me. Like besides the great musicians of India and of the West, like people. Okay, obviously all the famous people that we all know. All of them inspire me in some way or the other. But also closer to home, my dad inspires me. My mom inspires me a lot, and I'm a devotee of Satya Sai Baba, so I tend to also like I guess I connect to the whole Sai organization, and so that's where I also get a lot of inspiration from. And but I just think it's my family mostly who inspire me the most, who push me also, and yeah, I think it's my family. It's always been my family actually.
Whew. Um, Based on what I do, I really wish any individual could find their purpose in life. Starting from your family, why you were born there, what is your mission, and then comes to the whole universe. It's what are you? Why are you here? Doing my music, I feel like I found myself in such a way that this is what God bring me here for, to sing for people, and then they get healed, some of them, because I would sing something and someone would come to me later and was like, that's really touched me. So how did you know I'm going under this so much pressure? And I'm like, I didn't know. And then that someone would say, okay, you just gave me hope, or now I know what to do, stuff like that. So I really wish the youth of today could find themselves. That's pretty hard because under the rules of your parents, you can't really fly that. You can't really fly that high. But I believe there are ways to show your parents what are you, what do you want, what do you like. So, I believe there's hope for finding ourselves. of the heart. That is where we are. Don't underestimate the spirits of the tribe. We calling them most high. Stolen traditions locked away from the tribes without expectations that it flows around us. The energy, the secrets of the super existence. Nature, tell me more. Bathobo hlangana ngipile ngithule ngilalela ukuhlobana kwemvelo nomzimba isikompilo, because I'm feeling it running through my veins, the existence of our own race. I'm feeling it running through my veins, the existence of my own race. God knows who you are. God knows who you are. God knows who you are. God knows who you are.
Thank you so much, Shlonipani ji. That was indeed mesmerizing.
Thank you so much.
Wow, that is indeed mesmerizing. What a goosebump experience I definitely experienced right now. And I'm sure everyone in the audience is definitely going to feel the same. And it's so true. When words don't express, music does. Thank you so much, Ms. Shruti Tilak, for that beautiful piece. We've come to the conclusion of today's program. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Sipiwe Mchunu from the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban to render this afternoon's vote of thanks. Sipiwe ji.
Namaskar. Thanks to all of you. On behalf of Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, it gives me a great vote of thanks on today's second episode of Antartaan, meaning the inner tones. To thank Shruti Tilak, a violin player, and Ms. Shonipani, a guitar player, for the great interview Ms. Shruti shared with us on her journey of. And the interview was so much interesting. We wish you good luck. Music to director Chaitanya Prakash, director of Song, the Cultural Center in Durban, Sristi Harinara, Sri Piyush Khandelwal, for all of you for making sure that this program is running very smooth. To those who participated on our program today, very much for taking time off to be with us today. Please, so that you'll be updated about all our upcoming cultural programs by Vivekananda Cultural Center in Durban. On that note, Shruti ji, Shonipani ji, thank you very much for everything. Till we meet again, namaskar.